Alrighty, guys, there we are. I'm moving on with this gig right here. So I've dispatched six more jets into the air just to clear the waters over here surrounding our air base, which is Amendola Airport. Apparently it's an airport serving military purposes for this campaign. It's situated over here in southern Italy. So our job is a pretty significant one. As I mentioned in previous missions, we have to clear this Adriatic fleet the enemy has set up over here just to make sure we are clear on our right flank in order to advance further into Croatia. And we have a development for our ground stompers over here. As you can see, Intel starts to show enemy placements. Actually, those are hills over here, mountains. So enemy has taken up positions over here in the mountains. Very tough position to go offensive at. Um, or towards, because uh, if they already have the high ground, they have a slight advantage, and they have set up positions, probably artillery positions, more positions and stuff, predetermined spots there, and all those passes they have pretty much, I'm pretty sure they've set up ambushes. So the best way really to deal with those guys is to work closely with the observers on the ground. And I say observers, but that's probably not the best description. With the forward air controllers on the ground, that forward air controllers have been integrated with those units over here, so they can go in targets if they don't know where some particular targets are. We're going to be launching flights there anyway, just to scan this piece of ground there, and provide close air support to this Croatian force. I'm gonna call it Croatian force. It's a NATO troops. I'm pretty safe to say dedicated to over here to liberating, so to speak, Croatia. Remember, we have to take the capital, Zagreb, over here, and some of those Adriatic cities in Croatia. So I'm gonna call these southern guys over here Croatia force, and those guys I'm gonna call the northern guys. I'm gonna call the Bosnia force. So that's something I just made this up, uh, you know, uh, just for convenience. Okay, so Croatia force will definitely have to work closely with the Air Force, and they have already started doing so, because as you can see, we have some choppers operating in the area, and we have some uh, close air support jets over here operating in this area, just trying to clear those mountain passes. Well, mountain could be a little bit exaggerated. It still is a mountain, but it's not a tall mountain. Um, it definitely have hills over here that definitely give you a tactical advantage. So we want to clear those hills over here in order to start moving over here into the flat area where our objectives are. So the enemy knows where they might get an advantage, and they're certainly using their possibilities. So moving back into our main task here. As you saw, we have a pretty cool pattern going, because I pretty much know two Gulf Mavericks are more than enough to destroy an also two patrol boat or frigate. This is what we're going to be doing. Hopefully I can get my number 2, which is Captain Magali, into the air, so we can actually engage some targets. I've set up targets tiers 4 and 5 for our flight, because I think those are the biggest potential threats over here in this particular region, the base we're stationed off. As you can see, we have two flights of tornadoes, and I know that tornadoes also are going to be trying to conduct some TASMO operations, so it's very good to know. You can see also that they have actually slipped over here to the north, but we have some PC task forces dispatched undoubtedly just to counter those guys and to deal with them. And what we have, actually, we have the Wildcat. Let me see what kind of just in order to essentially doing exactly that, just to delay their movement, so they don't cut in to the to our supply and soft skin vehicle. So this is the Wildcat patrol boat. Uh, you know, we might actually check out what the armament of those guys consists of. Ship and it's not a cruiser, it's not a carrier, destroyer. It's definitely not a destroyer. Frigate, corvette. There it is, Wildcat class, FAC. Now they have the Exocet missiles, which is great, great actually sight and great to hear. They have that. And their range is 23 nautical miles. As I said, the missile is an anti-ship missile. So they have two of those ready to fire. Excuse me. And I don't know what their reload time is, but I guess two is more than enough, and we're a pretty even match. Our task patrol boat task force actually consists of two boats. We're going to be able to contradict the enemies too. So a very, very good thing to see. Pretty much, yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing over here, and at least for the 315 um, fighter squadron, this is gonna be one of the main missions. You know, just based off the weapon nomenclature that we could employ, that we can actually take to combat. Uh, this is going to be our main missions. We can do strategic strikes, and I see pretty much us being employed in the Zagreb region, just hitting some probably some air defense, enemy's air defense, coming low over the water, doing pop-up with the J dams, or providing some form of close air support with the paveways. These kind of missions is what I actually see us doing there. You know, we don't have the Delta Mavericks dispatched to our squadron. Apparently, we can carry them. We have the pylon capability, but we don't have a supply of those. We don't have combined effect munitions, and namely the CBU-87s. We don't have rockets. We don't have the BK-84, and pretty much everything else is available to us. So let's get into the air, guys, and this is going to be a very, very meticulous and probably potentially pretty boring process of actually destroying this Adriatic fleet. So I promise I'm going to do my best not to bore you too much. I'm probably going to do this mission over here, and then do some more TASMO missions off camera, or task my flight to exclusive TASMO duties while I actually take care of something else. I'm definitely going to try to keep it all nice and interesting for you guys. Okay, let's do this one. We might actually throw in a twist over here as far as altitudes and as far as attack profiles. we have here, just to keep it interesting. All right, guys. So let's get into the air.
Stud 2-1, ready for departure.
All right, we're Gypsy Flight and
Stud 2-1, taxi, runway 11.
Cleared for takeoff by the Amendola air traffic control. Okay, 2 has assumed the position that I definitely don't like. He assumed this position last time. And bring things up. Jet so crunched up to the ground. We have good nozzle and good RPM, so we're rolling. Definitely don't like what the 2 is doing. I'm gonna assume here actually go ahead and get airborne.
Navigation.
Try not to speed my gear.
You're cleared for takeoff.
Try to
Runway
stay
11.
below to 20 knots, 220 knots, 250 knots actually. I believe the gear, it depends on the block, but the gear of the Viper is rated to 300 knots, so that's the absolute maximum speed, but you don't want to put an excessive strain on the equipment. There's absolutely no need for that. Now, our first target steer is a steer 4. So I'm doing something different this time. I'm going to be engaging targets with a single round. So I'm going to try to cover both the target steers 4 and 5. So that's going to be a single Maverick per ship. I'm going to try to do my own BDA there. It's going to be a short range shot, probably 5 or 6 miles.
Resume on navigation.
Probably 7 miles.
Shot, taxi, runway 11.
Depending on whether we get a stable lock or not. Now, I'm just going to simulate because
Gypsy 1-2, cleared for departure.
Those
Chalice 1, be advised, enemy aircraft launch activity detected. Bullseye, 150, 100 miles.
Okay, SATA bullseye, 100 miles, so we have some launchers. Now don't forget the Mavericks are always hot weapons, so if you align those guys, they're pretty much hot, and when you press pickle, they're off your wing instantaneously, so you absolutely don't want to do that. You don't want to, in your excitement, to actually mash pickle and launch this thing off with no targeting. So instead of TGP, I'm putting on the weapon page over here to the right. You know, it's absolutely personal preference as far as the arrangement of those MMD pictures goes, but it's just my preference, and I'm gonna put the TGP right over here, right in the SCR. Those are both my observation sensors. We'll be acquiring target information, and they're going to be handing off information to the Maverick. Now we're assuming a northeasterly course there. We tap into AWACS.
Gypsy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
At point 3 is what we have there, setting Joker. On the fuel we're getting 109, so no jammer for us. We can actually turn the electrical supply off to this pylon. So AWACS is up and running. We should of course try to assume air superiority as quickly as we can, so we can move more freely our AWACS and our refueling assets around the map or around the theater. We're going past transition altitude, so it's a very good idea indeed to switch to standard. Now we're just going to switch to standard, not going to use any tactical or combat altimeters here. Just using this quick pretty standardized setting. It's 292 inches of mercury. There we go. I try not to get too slow actually, and we're switching to C mode. Center this thing on, and right off the bat, we're having some returns. We're definitely getting some returns. Can wait for those guys to pop up on the 40 or probably 35 mile mark. I'm not gonna be too greedy. I'm actually seeing two more returns over there. Those are pretty distinct, pretty clear. I would say pretty clear radar signature of those OC boats. Remember, there are actually seagoing vessels with low radar signature. So this is something to take into consideration. Okay, Mavericks is up and running. I'm going master orb on, and I'm keeping my lights on just for time being. Now this is a pretty tricky time here. This time of day now. Sun's just coming up. It's actually 5:50 in the morning. So as you can see, using knots is definitely a no-go, and sometimes you might not be able to see actually traffic, and aerial collision is definitely a consideration. So I want to keep my lights on at least until I'm feet wet, and I am so right now. I know there's going to be a lot of friendly air, a lot of traffic over here over southern Italy. And there are a lot of bases that friendly squadrons are based off. So this is something just keep in mind. As far as self-protection goes, we're packing 2 slammers on the wingtips and 2 mic, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 Lima actually, 2 Lima heaters. I think that should be more than enough. I saw a couple of reports of MiG-23s over Croatia. So we know those guys are undoubtedly doing their combat air patrols over yeah, over the country, over Croatian airspace. So that's definitely something to just to be careful of. And by the way, Serbs are, I think they're claiming Croatia. Actually, they've claimed Croatia, or at least the most of Croatia, and definitely Montenegro. Actually, not the whole of Bosnia. They claim the whole of Bosnia and most of Croatia. So we pretty much have our work cut out for us. Alrighty, so there we go. So steer 4, we'll make sure we center those guys, and we can actually see pretty distinct contacts. We have steer 4 and steer 5. There we go. Pretty awesome. I think we're gonna have a good day here. I won't speak too soon, of course. There we go. I'm gonna put one cursor on the data link position, and I want to make sure I'm doing this FCR trick over here. This is gonna make a new target steer, so this is gonna be updated target steer. So TMSF puts me on steer 26. I go 0. Go 26. Steer, that switches my target steer over here to the fresh and updated location, and absolutely you can see we're absolutely perfectly zeroed in on our new target. Over there to distance the electro-optics, pick up these contacts there, and as you can see they're actually retreating. So don't want to scrap my mission. My mission is to actually destroy the Navy, but the fact that they are retreating means that we've done our job good. Not only us as a squadron, but the whole TASMO force. as I mentioned, it also includes tornado jets. So that's a good thing to hear. The directions actually mean something and have an effect over the campaign. They're definitely moving south. So I like like what I'm seeing, which means we can actually take care of something else probably, and I'll let our squadron buddies handle TASMO. We are master arm on, and trying to get a lock on those guys. Just want to make sure it's not a friendly signature. There's definitely the also boats. We don't have friendlies operating in this area, of course. There we go. We're able to get locked now, assuming we have good parameters. We can actually go ahead and launch this baby up. So this is gonna be one rifle. Second rifle. I'm waiting for my BDA over here. Waiting for my BDA. We actually managed to overspeed the jet, but it's okay. You know, that's a minor trouble. No biggie whatsoever. We're still zeroed in on, we're not actually zeroed in on steer 26, but we're referencing steer 26. And we have both those guys, keeping both those guys inside. Should be getting some good Maverick hits. Now let me tell you, if I'm able to get a kill with a single one, let's see. Well, that's certainly not a kill. That's a damaged. It caught on fire, and it's a hit on the second one. Hopefully it caught on fire as well. Yes, both of those caught on fire, so they're effectively out of the fight for the time being. So I'm going over here and switching to steer 5, and as you can see, it's pretty instantaneous. We're still in surface mode, and turning over. There we have just about 40 miles to go to steer 5. Okay, when I say 5 just popped in, that's
Gypsy
the
1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
one of the Croatian batteries. Now, one thing I'm not certain is whether actually number 2 took off. No, he's nowhere to be seen on data link, so this is not good at all. Now, Patriot Sam. Patriot SAM batteries are always active, which really helps your SA, because when you see those Patriot SAM, you know where the Italian coast is. Now we're flying over the Adriatic over here and pretty much calling the shots right here. And this is one of those roles that's very commanding. So pretty much, you know, there are combat air patrols, right, that have ships, actually have aircraft patrolling a piece of airspace, but we are you know, combat jets, and you have to patrol a piece of water. So this is this is definitely something new for me. Okay, we're making a new target steer there. This is a steer 27. I'm switching to this steer right at this instant. They should be pretty close, just below my right wing. So I'm going to extend west a little bit. And you can actually reference the symbology on your radar, and you can also reference over here those axes right there. You can reference your target steers to get a good position in. So I know that Gulf Maverick is gonna cause some massive damage in those patrol boats. Pretty confident with this.
Gypsy 1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
And really, if they burst into fire, if they burst on fire like this, I mean, they're pretty much, those guys are pretty much done. Okay, we're just about 35 miles. I definitely don't want to do this. I want to center this thing on 15 miles. Yeah, actually, always remember to zero in your targets. And we have those guys are on fire. Yeah, which is kind of weird. There they are. They're both on fire. So we might as well search for new targets. Let's go ahead to go back to steer 5. I can go back to steer 5, but there's nothing there really.
Chat flare.
And checking the picture always.
Gypsy
5 is
1-1, Chalice 1, picture clear.
Okay, there they are. There those guys are. So again, pretty much the same procedure. Making a new target steer. There we go. We just popped up on it. It's just steer 28. I can actually center over there, right over the steer, and you can see we have those guys. I put them up on dolly, although I'm not sure actually why I'm doing this, because my number 2 ship never got off the ground. And we start scanning the electro-optics. There we go. We pick 2 contacts up. I can go ahead and try to ID those guys.
Gypsy 1-1, Chalice 1, contact is a bogey.
It's a bogey contact, and they appear to be stationary. I'm gonna be able to hit broadside of this guy over here. That's a broadside shot, very favorable. Now the armor of those battleships is thicker in up front. At the back, I'm not sure, but they're keeping their fuel and supplies in certain areas. However, if you're able to acquire a broadside shot, you should be able to set on fire any fuel stash or any ammo stash they have, and should be able to set them ablaze pretty easily there. So I'm kind of wondering if this is actually the one of those Chinese vessels. It's probably one of those Chinese vessels. I still don't have a lock, and I'm having, yeah, pretty good broadside shot in both those guys, and still no go. So we're still 17 miles. It's a long distance to be attempting locks. Very good, very nice and stable. Picture we have there on the Maverick. Okay, we managed to acquire the lock right there, and we're in range, so that's gonna be 1 map away. And the second one is actually slipped out of broadside, and that's gonna be nevertheless 1 more map for where we can go actually get one.
Caution.
Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this warning there. Just gonna take care of this really quickly. And while we're waiting for maps to hit, we can actually take a quick glimpse over Croatia there, the Adriatic coast of Croatia. Make sure there's any out of the ordinary activity. Well, I'm sure there will be, because our guys are knocking in on the pretty much front door there. Should gain 2 hits. Those guys are converging. I don't know what they're doing at all. Uh, this is one. Yeah, this looks like to be one of those. It's either the OSA. Yeah, that's one hit, and that's another hit. It's either, yeah. Let me see. Okay, one we set on fire, and this guy appears to be good. Anyway, so yeah, really we get back home, and those guys are also moving south. So I'm kind of wondering if they are really retreating or at least regrouping. So yeah, I know those are 3 amazing hits. We're able to set those guys on fire, and one just walked away. And that's an OSA. It's not a Chinese ship. That's an OSA. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. Several more missions like this one will be fun, probably off camera, just not to bore you too much. But this is just pretty much it. You know, once we clear our right flank there, we can actually start employing some close air support over those mountainous regions. Okay, guys, so stay tuned. We're gonna make a quick jump over to the debrief screen, and this is pretty much it. We keep this thing rolling. Alrighty, so pretty pleased with with the Golf Mavericks. Very actually the first time I believe, yeah, the first time I shot those. Very happy with them. We have 3 ships destroyed, 3 OSA frigates or patrol boats or whatever they're called. We got 3 of those, and we got 1 damage. Which I think is good enough just to get him out of fight for some period of time. Very good. Mission is a success. It's registered um, by BMS. Yeah, really pleased with this one. And as you can see, our area here is thinning out heavily, and we have development, of course, over here in the ground environment. This is where we have. This is where we have. There we go. The Zagreb region. The Zagreb region uh, is definitely mm, heavy, heavily occupied by the enemy. They're also employing some MiG-23s. No, it actually the J-22. I'm gonna check what this one is. The J-22 um, jets, and really the J-5. This is one of those, probably one of those Chinese counterparts of those Russian jets. Anyway, I'm not seeing those right now. It doesn't matter. It's probably some kind of replication of Russian design. We do definitely have some enemy air presence over there, and considering those guys over here in the Adriatic are were actually, you can see they are grouping over here to the south, so they have definitely retreated uh, from this region over here, from the Zagreb region. So they're not effectively going to be able to, at least I don't think so, to provide artillery support. They're not be able to shoot at this region artillery support. Yeah, I don't know if they can uh, put out a full bore artillery support. I don't even know if they have guns. They certainly have anti-ship missiles. But you know, Intel is not perfect. Those might not be patrol boats. Those might be some kind of destroyers or whatever they are. They have some barrel artillery capability, and they could be engaged in this region over here. It's certainly within their reach. These pair of formations over here. So very pleased with that. So we're gonna shift our attention. I'm gonna leave at least 2 more flights to do TASMO over here in the Zagreb region, but we're definitely pushing those guys south. What I'm gonna do is actually gonna try to drop some bombs over here to do some CAS, some close air support in those mountainous regions. As you can see, they're situated on the roads, which is quite naturally if they're in a process of movement. If they're moving, they're going to be doing so on the roads, and they're going to be setting up ambush on those mountain roads undoubtedly to friendlies. Uh, so this is top operator, just clearing those mountain passes and clearing the passes into Zagreb. Unfortunately, what we have here, the majority of the guys over there are, yeah, on the front line. Those are probably recon squads. It's quite understandable. They're going to be, I think, the forward air controllers are integrated with those infantry battalions there. And they're going to be calling out targets for us. And the main Zagreb force consists of, I would say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6, potentially 6 armor battalions. And several motor rifle. So yeah, I would say we are good for some CAS duties over here in the Zagreb region. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching this one. Stay tuned.